Hi, so I was sitting here journaling. It's raining. I live in the DMV area and it's been raining for pretty much the past week. And decided to hop on here because I have been wanting to get back on YouTube. It's been a while. All of my previous videos are pretty much around hair, a little bit of lifestyle, but I've been wanting to just hop back on because I feel like as my life transitions and I grow, I feel like I've learned a lot, and I'm on this journey of like intentional living more intentionally. And as I'm going through things and figuring it out, I haven't already, I'm just like, well, why don't I just share my journey? Why don't I share my progress and what works for me in hopes of like helping someone else? Like I feel like we can all, help each other out. Like let's help each other grow and everyone becomes successful. So I just wanted to talk about like a couple of points that I'm like doing in order to live my best life. I feel like that's a common theme going around now, and it's awesome. Like a lot of people are boosting more positivity, like self-care, and just getting like a handle on everything. So I just kind of wanted to share some things that I'm doing. Maybe you are already implementing them, maybe you're thinking about it, but so let's consider this like an intro to my new journey. Okay, so the first step of my intentional living journey was first to take inventory. I had to sit down and look at my life, see what was making me happy, what wasn't. I think the major turning point for me was during yoga teacher training. So I got my yoga teacher training certification last year. I'm coming up on my 1-year mark on June 4th. And during that journey where I expected to go in and like learn a lot about teaching and the postures and becoming an awesome yoga teacher, I ultimately learned so much more about myself, like just like the little things, and it made me more aware. So one thing that I did during that journey was like look at my own life, taking a look inside, like stepping back and kind of just have like an out-of-body experience. And I realized that I was really stressed out. I was working long hours, like my job, I enjoyed doing the work, but ultimately it just wasn't worth it because it was sucking the life out of me. And there was many days where I was doing 14-hour days and then driving home and like crying on my way home and just always feeling so heavy. And it's like, then I'll go to the yoga studio. I also was working part-time there, and then doing yoga teacher training, and it didn't matter that like I was squeezing in like everything revolving about yoga into my free time. Like I didn't feel like I was losing any time because that was what fueled me. That was what I think gave me like my sense of like I'm okay. So I realized I didn't have to like go through or be stressed out all the time. Like that's not normal, because I was just thinking, it's normal to work long hours and constantly be on this hunt to like move up in the workplace and all of that good stuff. But I was just like, I don't have to live this way anymore. So I took the direction of finding a new job, and I was able to find one. It was still in my field of doing science, so I'm a scientist. So it's still in the field, but it wasn't exactly what I was doing. It was more in the research realm. So it was a totally different, not a totally different, but sort of a bit of different transition for me, going in a different direction. And I just kind of took a leap. I was just like, you know what? I feel like I'm being drawn. I feel like this was, stood out to me for a reason. When I applied, I interviewed, like it was, everything seemed good. Like it felt good in my spirit. When I got an offer, they were paying me $16,000 more than what I was making at my previous job. And then I realized that it wouldn't be as much stress. Like there wouldn't be like the hard deadlines. There wouldn't be a lot of overtime and all that good stuff. So I was like, this is perfect. So I hopped on. Now I've been there for almost a year. It'll be a year in July, a year in August, so almost a year. And I haven't cried once since I've been working there. I haven't been stressed. It's been good. Like I'm making more money. It's less work, and it's just like everything is like balancing out. And I was just reflecting, like I went through 2 years of being stressed out all the time, not like living paycheck to paycheck, not comfortable for nothing. So I'm glad like I took that time to just look at my life and see what needed to change. So that was the first step. And then the next step I would say would be just look at your relationships. Take inventory of those who are around you, those who are in your circles, those you're connected with, because ultimately they have some sort of effect on, how you live your life, how you feel. So if you're surrounded by toxic people or in toxic relationships, they're going to be bringing you down. So cut them out. You don't have to put up with, crazy situationships or just anything. Like, find your worth and cut out anyone who doesn't serve you. Cut them off and don't feel guilty about it. And then the last one with taking inventory is of your home life. So for me, I'm on a journey to minimalism. If you read my blog, you know that I've been kind of decluttering my home on this process of reading different books and, trying different methods. And it all bloomed when me and my boyfriend decided to move in together. And of course, I had to cut my half of stuff, or all of my stuff, into half pretty much to, make room for two people. So that was an adjustment, and it was kind of like a forced journey to minimalism, but I went into it with open eyes. And then as I started doing more research and realizing how getting rid of 50% of my clothes that I wasn't even wearing anyway, they were just sitting there, how it was just so freeing, and then I just felt lighter. I was like, I'm fully committing to this. So I'm on that journey. So I'll be sharing a lot of my decluttering, my closet, and just kind of redoing different things around the home, and my approach, how I'm kind of taking things from people who I've or different resources that I've read, or documentaries, or different online resources. So be on the lookout for that. And then my next tip for living your best life would be to set realistic goals and actually achieve them. So for me, I always go in the beginning of the year, I set yearly goals for personal, finance, and professional. I go through everything and then see which areas I need to improve on, what do I need to do, and then I give a couple of points of how exactly I'm going to go about achieving them. And then every month I have monthly check-ins on what I accomplished, what I need to improve on, what went right, what went wrong type thing. And I feel like that's made a big difference. And then I take it down a step by planning out my week. So making weekly goals. What do I want to accomplish this week in order to achieve my monthly goals, in order to achieve my yearly goals? So just being able to break everything down into smaller chunks makes it a little bit more easier to manage and actually achieve them. So find what actionable steps you can do to achieve your goals, and that right there, living your best life. Then number 3 is getting your finances together. So this year I'm really I don't know, there was just something that went off, and I was just I need to get my life together in terms of finances. And I think maybe it was the fact that, getting a new job, I'm in a better place financially, and then just opening up to wanting to save and wanting to get debt free. I have credit card debt and then also student loan debt. So I just want to, get rid of all that stuff. So I've been doing steps of being a little bit more intentional with my finances in order to free that up so I can be able to accomplish my personal goals down the line. And I feel like debt is modern day slavery, and I feel like every month I'm having to work to pay back, my student loans or whatever. So I just wanted that to be off my back, and I feel like it would be so freeing. So I think that's a good way to take an actionable step to living your best life. And next, for the 4th step, I would say to prioritize self-care. So I know that we live in a time where it's all about the hustle, working so many jobs and, trying to achieve all these goals so you can retire early, so you can, make a lot of money, which, it's okay. But myself, I work full time, and then I work part time as a yoga teacher, and then I'm trying to do my creative stuff. So I think it's perfectly fine, but as long as you make time for yourself so you don't get burnt out, find those little things that you can do. So for me, Friday nights are typically my self-care nights. My boyfriend would go to the gym, and I'll just have some time to let's see, wash my hair and like do a facial, do my nails, twisting my hair while watching the previous episode of Grey's Anatomy. So just finding little things that make me feel good, that help me to relax, pouring up a glass of wine and just kind of like unwinding, leaving my phone alone, not really thinking about anything. Also on Sundays are like a guaranteed self-care day for my partner and I, pretty much because like I said, I work full-time and then I teach yoga and he works full-time and he coaches boxing. So we set Sunday like for us pretty much. So we don't teach we don't have any permanent classes that we teach on Sundays. We try not to work. Sometimes we might sub or, do like a workshop or something, but that's, once every 3 months or something. So not every Sunday. So Sundays like are consistent where we go to church, we go to brunch, we maybe have like a day date and, just kind of enjoy each other and then like wind down at night. So that's very important for me to have like those Fridays and Sundays and like time throughout the week to make sure that I get like a yoga practice in for myself, or I take time to journal, or just kind of like, what I'm doing now, sitting out on my porch and just kind of unwinding and soaking in the morning a bit. And yeah, it just makes a big difference. And then on another note with that, self-care, make sure that you build like time for yourself before your work day. I have been on this miracle morning journey during my intentional living journey, and it's made like a crazy difference in like my attitude and my mood for the day, especially with having such a busy and hectic schedule. I get up probably about 2 hours before I'm due to like head out the door for work. I usually leave my home around 7:40, but I'll get up around 5:30 or 5:45, and like me and my boyfriend would go for a 15-minute walk outside, and then we'll come back. I'll do yoga, I'll journal, and then maybe read or get on social media or something like that. Just kind of like do something for myself before getting started in the work day. And I think that really made a big difference in just my overall mood and approach to the day. And lastly, my last tip for living your best life would be to find what feels good. So aside from like your full-time 9-to-5 job, if that's what you do, don't let that be your life. Like, don't go to work and come home. Find something for yourself. I think it's very important. So for me, I would definitely say is yoga. I got into yoga back in 2013 when I lost my job. And ever since then, it's been a form of self-care. It's been like a little escape for me. And then it ultimately led me to wanting to teach yoga. And I feel like this whole like full circle moment of it like really transformed in my life. And now I have the ability to go out and teach and hopefully, touch someone else or let someone else, feel some kind of relief or feel the enjoyment of it. I think that makes a big difference. So just find what feels good, find what makes you happy, and do that. But yeah, I really want to be transparent and share more about like my journey towards intentional living. So I hope you follow along. We'll be covering minimalism and my debt-free journey, and there will be weekly yoga videos if you're interested in getting into yoga. So go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, I hope to see you next time.